So this year, obviously, the guy everybody's going to miss is Lawrence White.
Right.
He's our BVarsity Player of the Year. He's gone to Iowa State. You guys have had this run here. I think it maybe started with Tyler Ferguson, then you go to Kamari Cotton Moya, and then to Lawrence, and it's just been seamless where you've had a really good quarterback back there. And this year, the guy, I guess, is a sophomore, right? Keontae Glinton.
Yeah, he's got some big shoes to fill, but and we all miss Lawrence. I mean, I'm sure he's doing well at Iowa State, but we also miss Lawrence just from the person that he was, and coming in the office every day and just bugging you a little bit, or just talking trash about something. But
yeah, we miss
really
Lawrence.
He's a great kid. He was a great leader and a lot of fun. I think he made the game fun, kind of like Usain Bolt does, a little bit with, the track and field. Lawrence was like that for us, So it made it fun, but still was a great competitor.
Isn't Jamar a little bit like that?
Jamar is definitely like that. Matter of fact, first guy I saw this morning knocking on the door was Jamar. So, hey, come on in. He, opens the fridge. He, sees what's to eat. All that
Does
kind of
Ahmad
stuff.
not feed him at home, or what's going on, man?
Man, I know they feed him, but he just, he's that kid that sees it from a coach's perspective, and that's what makes him a great player.
Well, and
he's a great competitor.
And that's kind of what makes this season. No high school season for a public school is ever seamless. But when you've got guys like Jamar Moya, Ricky Leung-Wai, Amir Knox, Damone DeGraff, and when you've got a core group of guys like that are kind of leading the way for you, I mean, it makes this transition away from the Lawrence Whites, the Timmy Lelays, the Chase Mears a little bit easier, right?
Yeah, sure. True.
Okay.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah,
hey, man,
it's not that
the one in
easy,
the
man.
trenches.
I love all those kids and I love them to death. But they each have their trigger points, and they're high maintenance. I'm not gonna lie. I think they're high, but they're great kids, and they love the game. They love each other. They love to play for each other. So I think that's what's fun about our kids is that they love the game, and they have their moments where kind of push their buttons a little bit, but I think typically our kids bond and they play for each other, and I think it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
So who is Keontae? What does he bring to the table?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's an incredible athlete. I have the utmost confidence in him. I know, we had these discussions, should we put Jamar back there, this and that, and, we're still going to do that with Jamar, do the Wildcat stuff and put him all around the field. But I think it's a little bit tougher for defenses to defend when you don't know where Jamar's going to be all the time. So, but Keontae is an incredible athlete. He's big enough, strong enough, fast enough. He's smart enough. He's almost a 4.0 student. Great leadership, great poise, confidence. He's a tough guy, and he's coachable. I think he can do it. I'm sure there's going to be some growing pains with a sophomore. Come on, But, I think we made the right decision in putting him back there.
Your defense could be your calling card, especially early. And I know it's been good for a couple of years, but you look at the secondary and you lose Lawrence again. But Amir Knox, Sean Stevens, Damone DeGraff, and Reed. I mean, you got some guys back there. Yeah,
we do, and they're all smart kids, and that really lends itself into good defense. I think sometimes that they're coachable, they're smart, they're athletic, and hopefully they're tough and they tackle well. But I like our defense, the way it looks on paper, but, sometimes you just got to get out there and play. So, we realize that we're going to have a target on us, and, we embrace that. We love it. So, we know we're going to get the best from everybody. So, we got to be ready, and it's going to be a long, tough season. I mean, our preseason's probably as tough as anybody's. So,
yeah, you basically have a Division I schedule in the preseason. You play 4 SWYL teams: Stockdale, Liberty, Frontier, Bakersfield, and then also add in Central this year, which is new. And we know they're going to be legitimate top 5 team in the section as well.
Exactly. And we scrimmage Centennial, which is fun.
Which is one of the other 2 SWL teams you don't play. So,
which we will also broadcast Friday night.
Let me ask you this, Dennis, because this is the last year of the league alignment as it is now.
Right.
And I know, at least in our circles, there's been talk about, well, maybe Ridgeview should just go in the Power League. They play them all in the non-league season anyway, probably moving up to Division I, whether you want to or not next year, just because of the level of success you've had. Do you have a preference one way or another? Would you like to be in that SWYL?
Well, to be honest, I mean, the reason I like it now a little bit is that we don't struggle to find teams to play.
Okay.
And when we reverse it, and if we do go in that league, which is probably inevitable, I mean, you know, from conversations I've heard. So we go in that league now. Who do we play? And now we're going to have to really branch out and, you know, do some research, probably like BHS had to do, you know, when they started branching out and playing other people. But, you know, it'll be a little bit trickier, I think, for us.
Is that where this program is going in your mind? That you can go out of the area and be kind of like BHS has been the beacon for Kern County football and say we're the best from this area. Let's go seek out the best from other areas.
Man, honestly, I feel like it's just we've got so much work to do. It's hard to really think like that, you know what I mean?
You're just on tomorrow.
I mean, seriously, yeah, it's like crazy. I mean, we got out of shape guys. We got, you know, I mean, it's just, there's so many issues in my brain, you know, that function like that. But, you know, I mean, I like our kids, and I think we got a good program. I mean, I like our coaches, and, you know, I mean, I think things are going well in that regard. But, you know, obviously we got some athletic kids, and, you know, I don't think we have a ton of depth. But I think the kids we have are tough and, you know, can play. So obviously, I mean, I felt like we should have beaten our bond last year, and, you know, but we didn't. So, you know, hopefully we get another opportunity. But, yeah, I think we can play it. Most everybody. I'm going to say everybody, but, you know, most everybody I think we can play with.
Well, I don't think you're alone. I think most coaches around the state would find something to worry about or think about, maybe outside of De La Salle. I don't know. But yeah. Even those guys, I'm sure, find something to worry about.
Sounds like
I don't know what.
Centennial doesn't really have much to worry about these days.
Right.
Well, the only thing they have to worry about is De La Salle.
Yeah.
And, you know, so.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah. One guy we haven't mentioned yet, I don't think Jalen Prevost obviously going to be a key for you, and whoever's at quarterback. That's a pretty nice target to have out there.
Yeah, it is, and I mean that's the pressure on Keontae is, you know, can you get the ball to the people we need to get the ball to, you know, and I think he can do it, you know, but again it's going to be growing pains, and, you know, my philosophy has always been, look, we're not trying to win the first game, we're trying to win the last one.
Right.
So he's the guy to go with. There's no question about it. I mean, to me he's a pure quarterback. I think he's really possibly a quarterback at the next level, and if he keeps growing, I mean, he's about 6 foot now. If he gets to be 6'3", you know, he might be a national, you know, serious national recruit at quarterback. So,
how is he running wise? Is he a dual threat type?
Yeah, he's a dual threat. Okay. I mean, he's I'd say he's as fast as Lawrence Space close.
Okay.
He's explosive.
Going back to Jalen, when you look at him, I watched him play a lot of basketball this summer.
Yeah, right.
And I really think that he's kind of taken the turn as an athlete. I mean, he's really put on some muscle onto his frame. I mean, is this one of those seasons where you really got to rely on Jalen on both sides of the ball to really just become that big outside hitter on both sides?
Well, you know, Jalen is probably one of the best athletes, you know, I've ever coached. Yep. I mean, you know, I think that he, you know, I tell him practice several times, like, you need to start dreaming, man. Start dreaming big, because you have that athletic ability. You know, sometimes I think he sees himself down here where he needs to look up a little bit, because he's that talented and that special. Because, yeah, I mean, 6'3", you know, probably, you know, 190, 185, but, you know, he's fast enough, and I can imagine what he'd be like at a college, and, you know, in a weight program, and, you know, feeding 3-4 times a day and all that kind of stuff. He's incredible, but, you know, I think he holds himself back a little bit, and hopefully he overcomes that, and because he could be incredible.
It's never fair to say the expectation somewhere a championship or bust, because I think that is short-sighted. But have you come to the point now where that's what the kids do expect to be playing in that? I mean, this 4 straight years you played in the section final now, where they expect that of themselves almost.
Yeah, I think for us, honestly, it's just like, you know, we just look at it almost like factual about, you know, practice and expectations and what guys are doing wrong. And, you know, we call them on the carpet and in front of everybody, and everybody's, yeah, you need to pick it up or whatever. But, you know, so we're so short-sighted about, you know, where we need to be, that, you know, those things have taken care of themselves for us, you know, because I think we've done a lot of the right things with the right people, and, you know, we just wind up doing well, I think, you know. But to sit there and say we're going to be in the finals or we're going to do all that kind of stuff, I don't even think like that, you know. So it's just a game at a time. I mean, yeah, we expect to be there, but, you know, I mean, there's so many things in practice that, you know, we're so screwed up on. I mean, it's almost impossible to think like that.
It's a theme you sense with coaches of good teams, the process is way more important than the destination. I mean, that's
this is a theme that I've sensed with Dennis over the last 2 years since we first met.
It's not just that's what I'm saying. It's not just him though.
But I mean, Dennis, I mean, you're a realist. I mean, you understand that you've got high school kids. I mean, I think that you kind of understand that more than anybody. That you may have some knuckleheads out there sometimes.
Oh, but believe me, we got them. You want to talk about them? No, I'm just
yeah, actually, if you we've only got a couple of minutes.
I might get a few parent phone calls, but yeah, we do. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's high school, man. These kids are not college athletes; they're not professional athletes, and I think that's the biggest difference, and that's the fun of it as well. I mean, we got kids. Hey, you show up for practice. Where were you? What's going on? I mean, gosh, there's just a million things, and it's it's one thing at a time, but. What do you do about it? I mean, it's all about the team, especially in high school. And, those guys that don't get to play, those are your key guys. How do they function on your team? And those guys are as valuable as the starters to me. So, it's a total team effort. And I think that's what makes high school football unique and fun.
Well, you don't look. You're not a college team, but on Friday night sometimes you look like one. That's how good you guys have been the last couple of years, and certainly I think a lot of people expect it again this year. Dennis, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Dennis Manning of Ridgeview. They open up Centennial Scrimmage again. We'll be streaming that live on Bakersfield.com at 7 o'clock, right? 7 o'clock Friday night. And then 7:30 next week, Stockdale, and then at Liberty and Frontier, home against Central and Bakersfield. We'll know pretty quick if the Wolfpack is going to be that elite level again. When we come back, we're going to wrap up day one of the Super Show. We have Edgar Maras of Arvin. He's going to be on the phone with us right after this.